Good morning, boys and girls. I hope everybody's doing well. Today we're going to go over the April 6th problem of the day, which has to do with dividing fractions, which is going to be something that we focus on over the next couple days. So go pull up the April 6th problem in your Google Classroom, and then make sure you have something to write with, and let's get started on this problem. So as you can see, the problem reads, the owner of a snow cone stand used 1/4 gallon of syrup to make 16 cherry snow cones. She used the same amount of syrup in each snow cone. How much syrup in gallons was used in each snow cone? So before you do anything, you need to reread the problem and write down the key information. So if it says that the owner used 1/4 of a gallon to make 16 snow cones, we know that 1/4 is her total. So that should be the first thing you write down. She used a total of 1/4 of a gallon of syrup, or she used 1/4 in total. The second thing you need to write down is how many snow cones she made. So we know that she made 16 equal snow cones. They all had the same amount of syrup. So now we know that she used 1/4 of a gallon in total, and that she split that 1/4 up by 16. So from this, you should be able to get your equation. She used 1/4 and she divided it into 16 equal snow cones. Now, if she just used 1/4 in total, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shade in the 1/4. So I'm going to get my black marker and I'm going to shade in the 1/4 lightly. And you should be doing the same thing. Everything I'm doing, you should have written down in your journal. So now we see that we're just talking about this 1/4 because that's all she has in her total, is 1/4. And now we're going to divide our 4th into 16 equal parts. So that's going to be a little bit harder. You can do it with me, or you can watch me do it. So what I just did was I partitioned my 4ths into 16 equal parts. And we know that she used one of each of these. So she used one equal part of the 1/4 for each snow cone. So we had 1/4, and then we had to divide it. We had to partition it by 16. So the question is, what was the value of one of these? How much syrup in each snow cone? So what fraction of a gallon did each one of these parts represent? So we can figure that out a couple ways. The first way we could figure it out would be by counting it. We could count and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way to the end. And if we had a smaller model, if we were doing something with less equal parts, that wouldn't be a horrible strategy. But because there's a lot of equal parts, it'd be easier to count this by equal groups. So we know that each one of these has 16 parts. And we know that there's 4 rows. So we have 4 rows of 16. So we have 4 rows of 16. And we know that each one of these 4ths is 1 out of 4. And each one of these 16ths is 1 out of 16. So when we look at our whole, we have 1 times 1, because we're only talking about one equal part, just one snow cone. And we know that we have 4 rows of 16. So we have 4ths times 16ths. So we know that 1 times 1 is 1. And you should know that 4 times 16 is 64. Because we know that 4 times 10 is 40. And we know that 4 times 6 is 24. And 40 plus 24 equals 64. So our answer was 1/64. If you have 1/4 and you split it up into 16 equal parts, your answer is going to be 1 out of 64. The correct answer was C.